The crimson sun of Xiron 7 cast long shadows across the desolate battlefield where Captain Marcus Drake surveyed the remnants of his once proud battalion. The air crackled with residual energy from the recent skirmish, mixing with the acrid smell of burnt metal and ozone that clung to every surface. His HUD displayed casualty reports that made his stomach churn. 70% losses in under 20 minutes against an enemy that seemed to materialize from thin air itself. As he knelt beside the smoldering wreckage of their perimeter defense, something caught his eye in the distance. A figure moved gracefully through the smoke and debris, its silhouette both familiar and utterly alien. Her name was Serana, emissary of the Valeth Collective, though that didn't begin to describe the complex being who now approached him with measured steps. Her violet skin shimmered with iridescent patterns that pulsed in time with some unseen rhythm, and her eyes held galaxies within their depths. They had been enemies just hours ago, locked in brutal combat that left both sides bloodied and broken. Yet here she stood, extending an armored hand not in aggression but in offering. Their worlds were dying, consumed by a greater threat that neither species could face alone, and somehow these two warriors found themselves at the nexus of destiny's cruel design. Marcus remembered the first transmission from Earth Command like it was yesterday, frantic voices describing how entire star systems vanished overnight, consumed by something beyond comprehension. The science division called it the Devourer, though no one truly understood what it was. He'd seen the footage himself during briefings, stars winking out of existence, planets reduced to cosmic dust in mere moments. Ancient civilizations had warned of such an entity in their myths, speaking of a hunger so vast it could consume reality itself. Serana's people knew more than they let on, their archives containing references to similar phenomena spanning millennia. As they walked together through the ruins of the battlefield, she explained how her kind had encountered similar threats before, each time barely escaping extinction. The weight of this knowledge hung heavy between them, forcing an uneasy alliance despite centuries of conflict. Neither trusted the other completely, but survival demanded cooperation. Their footsteps echoed through empty corridors of abandoned structures as they discussed strategies and shared intelligence. Every revelation about the Devourer painted a picture more terrifying than the last. An entity that fed on matter and energy alike, growing stronger with each conquest. Yet amidst the grim reality, there existed a spark between them, born of shared trauma and mutual respect forged in combat. It manifested in the way they anticipated each other's thoughts, finished sentences, or instinctively covered one another during patrols. The universe might be ending, but in these stolen moments, something new and fragile began to take root. Their first mission together tested this fledgling partnership to its limits. Intelligence suggested a weak point in the Devourer's advance, a dimensional rift forming near Proxima Centauri. If they could plant a quantum destabilizer at precise coordinates, they might buy humanity precious time. The journey there aboard Serana's sleek Valeth cruiser revealed much about her species' technology, organic ships grown rather than built, responding to thought commands through neural interfaces. Marcus struggled to adapt to their fluid controls, his human hands feeling clumsy against the sophisticated systems. In turn, Serana marveled at human ingenuity, particularly when Marcus jury-rigged their damaged shield generator using spare parts from his own equipment. The cultural exchange extended beyond technology. They spent hours discussing philosophy, art, and warfare tactics. Each revelation about the other species brought new understanding but also fresh complications. When Serana demonstrated her people's combat techniques, Marcus realized how much of their previous conflicts stemmed from simple misunderstanding of abilities. Likewise, teaching her human close-quarters combat proved challenging yet rewarding, as she adapted human methods to enhance her natural agility. These training sessions became intimate moments of connection, their bodies moving in synchronized harmony that transcended species barriers. Yet always looming over them was the knowledge that time ran short, that somewhere ahead lay an enemy capable of erasing everything they worked so hard to understand. The approach to Proxima Centauri revealed the true scale of their adversary. Space itself seemed to warp and twist, reality bending around the massive anomaly that marked the Devourer's presence. Swirling vortexes of light and shadow danced across their view screens, defying known physics as they drew closer to the insertion point. Sensors registered impossible readings, negative mass values, inverted gravity wells, temporal fluctuations that made chronometers spin wildly. Both warriors felt it in their bones, a primal warning screaming through their DNA that they ventured into territory meant to remain untouched. The ship's AI struggled to maintain navigation, requiring constant manual overrides from both pilots working in tandem. Through this chaos emerged creatures unlike anything recorded in either species' databases, living fragments of the devourer itself, semi-corporeal beings that phased in and out of existence while attacking with devastating precision. Each encounter taught them more about their enemy's nature, confirming fears that this wasn't merely an invasion force but an extension of the devourer's consciousness. As they fought side by side, Marcus and Serana developed a combat synergy that bordered on telepathic. Without words, they anticipated attacks, covered vulnerabilities, and executed maneuvers that pushed their respective physiologies to new heights. Their different strengths complemented perfectly. His tactical discipline combined with her intuitive reflexes created a fighting style uniquely suited to this unprecedented threat. Yet each victory came at a cost, their bodies bearing fresh scars, while their minds processed horrors that would haunt dreams for lifetimes to come. Success at Proxima Centauri bought them 6 months, precious time during which human scientists and Valeth scholars worked feverishly to decode the devourer's nature. Research facilities became battlegrounds of ideas as radically different approaches to problem-solving clashed then merged. Human empirical methods combined with Valeth holistic understanding yielded breakthroughs neither could achieve alone. They discovered that the devourer operated on principles akin to cosmic surgery, excising portions of reality deemed inefficient according to incomprehensible criteria. This knowledge led to a revolutionary concept, creating artificial inefficiencies to confuse and distract their enemy. Working side by side in laboratories, Marcus and Serana grew closer through shared purpose. Late nights analyzing data turned into philosophical debates about existence itself, their perspectives influencing each other profoundly. She introduced him to Valeth concepts of collective consciousness, while he shared human notions of individual identity. These exchanges shaped their strategy, leading to development of hybrid technology incorporating both species' strengths. Their personal relationship evolved naturally from professional respect to something deeper, though neither dared name it aloud. Instead, they expressed feelings through small gestures, lingering touches during equipment checks, protective stances in combat, and quiet moments watching simulated starfields together. The galaxy continued to burn around them, but within their shared sanctuary of discovery, hope flickered stubbornly against encroaching darkness. The next confrontation occurred at Wolf 359, where multiple devourer manifestations threatened to establish a beachhead into populated space. Humanity's fleet assembled alongside Valeth warships, creating an unprecedented combined armada that stretched across light minutes of space. Command protocols merged awkwardly at first, with human admirals and Valeth hive minds struggling to synchronize strategies. Cultural differences manifested in tactical disagreements, particularly regarding acceptable loss ratios and engagement priorities. Yet amidst bureaucratic struggles, Marcus and Serana served as living proof of successful integration. Their strike team, composed equally of humans and Valeth, executed missions with precision that inspired emulation throughout the fleet. During one critical operation, they led a boarding party into a derelict research station overtaken by devourer spawn. Corridors twisted unnaturally, gravity fluctuating wildly as they progressed deeper into the facility. Here, their hybrid combat style proved invaluable, adapting instantly to environmental changes while maintaining formation integrity. The mission took a personal turn when they discovered captive scientists experimenting on captured fragments of the devourer, attempting to weaponize its essence. Faced with moral dilemmas that transcended species boundaries, Marcus and Serana made difficult choices that would later shape galactic policy regarding such research. Their actions demonstrated that compassion needn't be sacrificed for efficiency, establishing ethical precedents for future engagements. As they evacuated the station moments before its destruction, they carried not just survivors but valuable data, hinting at the devourer's fundamental weakness. Analysis of recovered data revealed shocking truths about the devourer's origins. It wasn't a natural phenomenon but rather a failed experiment from a forgotten age. Ancient precursors had sought to create perfect efficiency in the universe's structure, only to unleash this self-replicating abomination when their calculations went awry. Understanding this history gave Marcus and Serana crucial insight into their enemy's behavior patterns, particularly its seemingly random selection of targets. They deduced that the Devourer prioritized areas of high order and structure, drawn to complexity like a moth to flame. This realization sparked a controversial strategy, deliberately introducing chaos into targeted systems to misdirect their foe. Implementing this plan required delicate diplomacy, convincing skeptical governments to sacrifice economic stability for survival's sake. Marcus found himself thrust into political arenas, arguing passionately alongside Serana for measures that seemed counterintuitive to military doctrine. Their arguments gained credence after successful demonstrations at several border systems, where manufactured disorder successfully diverted Devourer manifestations away from inhabited worlds. However, these victories came at great cost to civilian populations forced to endure artificial poverty and social upheaval. The strain affected Marcus and Serana personally, testing their resolve as they witnessed suffering they couldn't prevent. Yet their bond strengthened through shared responsibility, transforming from reluctant allies to devoted partners in humanity's darkest hour. Their relationship evolved organically, supported by mutual species who recognized the symbolic importance of their union. The turning point came at Epsilon Eridani, where multiple Devourer manifestations converged upon a major industrial complex. This time, instead of fleeing, Marcus and Serana proposed an audacious plan: lure the enemy into a trap using themselves as bait. The operation required meticulous preparation, combining human stealth technology with Veilith cloaking fields to create an invisible net spanning parsecs of space. As they positioned themselves at the center of this elaborate snare, tension crackled between them, not fear of death, but anxiety about leaving unfinished work behind. When the Devourer's tendrils finally reached them, the experience transcended physical combat. They found themselves navigating bizarre realms of pure mathematics and conceptual space, where weapons manifested as abstract equations and movement required solving complex problems in real time. Here, their combined knowledge proved decisive. Serana's intuitive grasp of higher dimensions complemented Marcus's methodical problem-solving approach. Together, they unraveled strands of the Devourer's consciousness, planting seeds of paradox that caused sections of its being to collapse upon itself. The mental strain nearly overwhelmed them, pushing their minds to breaking points as they processed realities beyond mortal comprehension. Yet through sheer willpower and unwavering support for each other, they persevered, emerging victorious from what many considered a suicide mission. The experience fundamentally altered them both, leaving permanent imprints on their psyches while strengthening their resolve to continue fighting. Victory at Epsilon Eridani triggered unexpected consequences. Surviving Devourer fragments began exhibiting coordinated behavior never before observed. Intelligence suggested the entity learned from their tactics, adapting its strategies to counter future attempts at containment. This evolution forced Marcus and Serana to reconsider their entire approach, recognizing that traditional warfare concepts were insufficient against an opponent that literally rewrote the rules of engagement. They advocated for a radical shift in strategy, proposing the creation of a specialized task force trained specifically to operate within the Devourer's distorted reality. Recruitment proved challenging, requiring candidates capable of handling extreme psychological stress while demonstrating exceptional cognitive flexibility. Training programs incorporated elements from both human military traditions and Veilith spiritual practices, resulting in a unique fusion of disciplines. Marcus and Serana personally oversaw candidate selection, their combined experience providing unparalleled insight into necessary qualities. The process revealed surprising synergies between their species' approaches to warrior culture, leading to innovations in combat doctrine that emphasized adaptability over rigid hierarchy. As they molded raw recruits into elite operatives, their leadership styles merged naturally, creating a command dynamic that balanced discipline with intuition. The task force's success rate soared, proving that their unorthodox methods could achieve what conventional forces could not. The new task force's first major deployment occurred at Delta Pavonis, where a massive Devourer manifestation threatened to breach core human space. Unlike previous engagements, this operation featured multiple simultaneous insertion points, each staffed by hybrid teams executing precisely choreographed maneuvers. Marcus and Serana coordinated from a mobile command center, their neural interfaces linked through experimental technology that allowed direct mind-to-mind communication. This connection proved crucial when unexpected developments forced rapid strategic adjustments, enabling them to respond instantly to changing battlefield conditions. During the mission, they discovered evidence suggesting the Devourer maintained some form of distributed consciousness across its various manifestations. This revelation transformed their understanding of the enemy from numerous independent threats to a single, vast intelligence operating through countless nodes. Armed with this knowledge, they developed techniques to disrupt communication between manifestations, effectively isolating smaller groups for systematic elimination. Each victory provided more data, gradually mapping the Devourer's neural network and identifying potential vulnerabilities. Their success attracted attention from both allies and enemies, with some factions questioning the wisdom of empowering a mixed-species command structure. Yet results spoke louder than politics, as their unconventional methods consistently outperformed traditional military operations. The experience cemented Marcus and Serana's status as legends among their respective peoples, while their personal bond deepened through shared triumphs and tragedies. As their campaign progressed, Marcus and Serana faced increasing resistance from within their own ranks. Traditionalists on both sides viewed their partnership as dangerous precedent, arguing that intimate relationships between species compromised military effectiveness. Rumors spread about favoritism and divided loyalties, threatening to undermine years of progress. Complicating matters further, their physiological differences began manifesting in unexpected ways. Prolonged exposure to each other's environments and technologies triggered evolutionary responses that neither science fully understood. Medical examinations revealed genetic markers shifting in response to constant proximity, suggesting their bodies were attempting some form of biological convergence. These changes manifested in enhanced abilities but also brought unknown risks. Despite mounting pressure, they refused to separate, believing their union represented hope for interspecies cooperation. Their defiance inspired others to challenge outdated prejudices, sparking widespread debate about the future of galactic relations. Meanwhile, their understanding of the Devourer deepened exponentially. They identified patterns suggesting the entity possessed something akin to personality traits, making it susceptible to psychological manipulation. This breakthrough led to development of sophisticated deception tactics, using carefully crafted illusions to confuse and disorient their enemy. Each successful application of these techniques brought them closer to their ultimate goal, locating the Devourer's core consciousness. Intelligence gathered from multiple operations pointed toward a convergence zone near Betelgeuse, where ancient star charts indicated possible origin coordinates for the Devourer. Planning the assault required unprecedented cooperation between human and Veilith strategists, resulting in a hybrid battle plan that incorporated elements from both species' greatest historical campaigns. Marcus and Serana spearheaded preparations, their complementary skills creating a seamless blend of tactical precision and adaptive flexibility. Specialized equipment integrated human engineering with Veilith organic technology, producing weapons and vehicles that responded to both mechanical and neural inputs. Training exercises pushed their forces to new limits, simulating environments that challenged every aspect of their capabilities. As launch date approached, they faced final challenges from political entities seeking to claim credit or impose restrictions on the operation. Some human factions demanded guarantees of territorial rights in post-conflict scenarios, while certain Veilith hives insisted on maintaining traditional command structures. Negotiating these obstacles required diplomatic finesse equal to their military expertise, forcing them to balance immediate needs with long-term implications. Throughout this period, their personal relationships served as living testament to possibility of unity, silencing critics through example rather than argument. Final briefings revealed startling discoveries about the Devourer's core, evidence suggesting it might possess vulnerability to specific harmonic frequencies generated through precise coordination of energy weapons and psychic focus. The assault on Betelgeuse exceeded all expectations in terms of scale and complexity. Fleets from dozens of allied species converged upon the target zone, each contributing unique capabilities to the overall effort. Marcus and Serana commanded from the forefront, their flagship serving as nexus point for coordinating millions of individual actions across light-years of space. As they penetrated deeper into the Devourer's domain, reality itself began to unravel around them. Space folded inward, creating impossible geometries where time flowed backward and gravity reversed direction without warning. Their hybrid technology proved essential in maintaining cohesion, allowing forces to navigate this chaos through combination of human engineering and Veilith organic adaptation. Critical moments arrived when they encountered manifestations of the Devourer's primary consciousness, entities that existed simultaneously in multiple dimensions while projecting aspects of its being into normal space. These encounters required them to transcend conventional combat entirely, engaging in battles of pure concept where weapons became mathematical functions and movement depended on solving multidimensional puzzles. Through these trials, their bond reached new levels of intimacy, their minds merging temporarily to process information streams too complex for individual comprehension. Each victory brought them closer to their goal while revealing more about their enemy's true nature. An entity formed from corrupted perfection, driven by flawed logic that viewed all existence as inefficient noise requiring elimination. Final confrontation occurred within the Devourer's core consciousness, a realm existing outside conventional spacetime where physical laws held no meaning. Here, Marcus and Serana faced their ultimate test, not just as warriors but as representatives of all conscious life. Their hybrid nature proved crucial, allowing them to perceive and manipulate aspects of this realm inaccessible to either species alone. The battle unfolded across multiple conceptual planes simultaneously, requiring them to divide their awareness while maintaining unity of purpose. They discovered that the Devourer's flaw lay not in its power but in its inability to comprehend true chaos, the beautiful randomness of free will and individual choice that defines sentient existence. Harnessing this understanding, they orchestrated a symphony of controlled disorder, channeling the collective will of all allied species into a feedback loop that resonated through the Devourer's being. As its consciousness began to collapse, they witnessed something unexpected: fragments of original precursor code, corrupted but still containing echoes of its creator's noble intentions. Realizing that complete destruction might release untold devastation, they made the difficult decision to contain rather than annihilate, using their combined abilities to weave a prison of controlled entropy that would hold the Devourer indefinitely while preserving its potential for future redemption. Emerging from the Devourer's collapsing consciousness, Marcus and Serana found themselves changed forever. Their bodies bore visible marks of transformation, glowing patterns that pulsed with the same energy sustaining their prison. News of their victory spread across known space, sparking celebrations that united species previously divided by centuries of conflict. More significantly, their example demonstrated that true strength lies not in domination but in synthesis, in embracing differences to create something greater than its parts. They established the Unity Accord, formalizing principles of cooperation learned through shared struggle. Under their guidance, former enemies rebuilt shattered civilizations side by side, applying lessons of hybrid technology and integrated thinking to solve problems once thought insurmountable. Their personal story became legend, inspiring countless others to bridge divides between species and cultures. Though they remained active in galactic affairs, their greatest achievement lay in proving that even facing annihilation, beings could choose unity over division. As they watched new generations grow up in peace, their intertwined forms standing as living monuments to possibility, they knew their struggle had been worth every sacrifice. Remember to subscribe for more epic space adventures and witness how enemies become allies and love conquers even cosmic threats.